Diary of a Wimpy Kid, old school. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, old school, by Jeff Kinney. To Dad. September, Saturday. Grown-ups are always talking about the good old days and how things were so much better when they were kids. But I think they're just jealous because my generation has all this fancy technology and stuff that they didn't have growing up. Believe me, I'm sure when I have my kids of my own, I'm going to be the exact same way my parents are now. When I was your age, we used our legs for getting around. Yeah, whatever, Pops. Mom's always saying that when she was younger, it was great because everybody in town knew everybody else and it was like one giant family. But that doesn't sound so great to me. I like my privacy and I really don't need everyone knowing my personal business. Howdy, neighbor. Mom says the problem with society these days is that everybody's got their nose in a screen and nobody takes the time to get to know the people who live around them. I don't really see eye to eye with Mom on that issue, though. Personally, I think a little separation is a good thing. Lately, Mom's been going around town with a petition to get people to stop using their phones and electronic gadgets for 48 hours. Let's unplug to reconnect. Electronics are cluttering our lives. Let's put down our devices for a weekend and get to know one another. Who's in? Mom needs 100 signatures before she can take the petition to town hall, but she's having trouble getting people to put their names on it. I'm just hoping she gives up on this idea soon, because it's kind of exhausting for the rest of us to pretend we don't know her. I really don't understand why Mom thinks we need to go backward anyway. From what I can tell, the old days weren't that much fun. If you think about it, you never see anyone in those black and white photos smiling. Say cheese! In the old days, people were just a whole lot tougher than they are today. But human beings have evolved, and now we need things like electronic toothbrushes and shopping malls and soft serve ice cream to survive. I bet our ancestors would be pretty disappointed with the way we turned out, but once somebody invented air conditioning, there really was no turning back. We've gotten so spoiled that pretty soon we won't even have to leave our homes if we don't want to. Your burger is served. I said no mayonnaise. In fact, the way we're headed, I'll bet 1,000 years from now, human beings won't even have spines. Some people complain that all this technology has made us soft, but if you ask me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. There are all sorts of luxuries nowadays that make people's lives better. Take baby wipes, for example. People were using regular toilet paper for hundreds of years, and then all of a sudden, some genius came up with an idea that was a total game changer. Freshies. What really amazes me is that it took so long for people to come up with the idea. I seriously can't believe the guy who invented the light bulb didn't see baby wipes coming. And who knows what crazy thing someone's gonna come up with the next to make our lives easier. Whatever it is, though, I'll be the first in line to buy it. But if Mom in her way, we'd be living like people did before there were computers and cell phones and baby wipes. And I really don't want to imagine living in a world without baby wipes. Sunday. Dad says that when he was growing up, in the summertime, kids played outside all day until they got called home for dinner at night. Well, that's pretty much the opposite of the way my summer went this year. I spent July and August at film camp, where all I did was watch movies in an air conditioned theater for 8 hours a day. The main reason I signed up for film camp was because I thought it was for people who were serious about movies, like me. but I found out it was really just a place where parents could dump their kids off for some cheap babysitting. The downside of spending that much time in a dark theater is that at the end of the day, it took a half hour for my eyes to adjust to the sunlight. The other reason I signed up for film camp was to get out of the house. Ever since we got a pet pig, it hasn't been a lot of fun being home, especially not at dinner. For the record, I think it's a terrible idea letting the pig eat at the table because it already thinks it's a human being. And the last thing we need is for it to think it's on equal footing with the rest of us. Right after we got the pig, Mom thought it would be fun to teach it some tricks. So she would give the pig a cookie when it stood on its hind legs. But the pig learned to walk like that, and it hasn't been on all fours ever since. To make matters worse, my little brother Manny put a pair of his shorts on the pig, so now it's like we're living in the house with a Disney character. Mom used to take the pig outside, but after it started walking upright, it decided it was too good for its leash. Mom was worried that if the pig ran off, we'd never find it, so she got a collar with one of those GPS tracking chips in it. But every time Mom put the collar on the pig, within 5 minutes it would be back off. And don't even ask me how the pigs did that, since pigs don't even have thumbs. So now the pig just comes and goes as it pleases, and who knows where it spends its time. What really stinks is that I have a curfew, but the pig doesn't. I think giving the pig too many privileges is a really bad idea. One day pigs will rule the world, and it'll be my family's fault for starting it all. I wouldn't really have an issue with the pig if it didn't interfere with my life, but I was late on the first day of school because it was hogging the bathroom. Come on! With the pig in the house, I was actually looking forward to school starting, but once I got there, I realized it was just the same old thing. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've been in middle school forever. I need to mix things up a little, or I was going to go crazy. So, in the first week of school, I volunteered for a homework buddies program. Be a buddy! Team up with an elementary school kid to lend a hand. Sign up for homework buddies today. But the main reason I signed up was so I could skip third period, which is music class with Mrs. Graziano. To give you an idea of how long Mrs. Graziano has been the music teacher, Dad had her when he was my age. And apparently, spending 30 years teaching middle schoolers how to play musical instruments does something to a person. No, no, no. Last week, I met my homework buddy, this kid named Fru. I have no idea why he even signed up for the program, though, because he's one of those people who read scientific journals and college textbooks for fun. The first time we got together, Fru showed me his homework, which was some coloring and a word find. Fru said he didn't need any help, and then he asked me to see my homework. I had at least an hour of math problems and a geography assignment that would have taken me another 2 hours. But Fru whipped through all of it in about 15 minutes. And he wasn't just fast, he was good. I turned in the assignments the next day, and when I got them back from my teachers, I had perfect scores. At first, I felt a little bad about getting help from a third grader, but then I realized that homework buddies are supposed to help each other out. So now, whenever me and Fru get together, I just hand him a pile of assignments and let him do his thing. The way I see it, this is working out for everyone. My only complaint about Fru is that sometimes he's too helpful. He's getting bored with my homework, so he started making up assignments to challenge himself. The other day, he wrote a paper and attached it to my regular homework for extra credit, but luckily, I checked it over before handing it in. Detecting commutative permutable in physics. For a while, I was just glad to be getting some homework help, but recently I've been thinking that since I'm the one who discovered Fru, I deserve some kind of credit if he goes on to do big things.